Hi, I'm Dr. Niles Teicher, your host for this New Normal Career Day series. And today we are meeting with Aquila Leon Soon, who is an expert in careers and how they are changing due to this COVID-19 experience, and how you might be able to take a look and see what skills and knowledge you could use for the careers of the future. So with that, let me introduce Aquila, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So I am the founder and chief executive officer of ATS+Partens. We are a HR and organizational development consulting firm based in New York City with another office in Los Angeles, California. We work with schools, nonprofits, government agencies, universities, and other social impact organizations across the country. And it's always a pleasure for me to talk to young people about how recruitment is changed and managed internally and externally, and how they can also figure out how they can stand out as a candidate to land a job of their dreams.
So what types of jobs have you been seeing people, companies are looking for?
Right. So it varies by industry, but some of the skill sets are the same. They're looking for young people who are proactive, have an entrepreneurial mindset in terms of being a self-starter, that they want to come in and are eager to learn new things, roll up their sleeves and be collaborative and work with other team members, and really want to hone their skills to be the best possible employee as possible. So when we look at a lot of the transferable skills that's in demand right now, there are a lot of technical skills in technology. So do you understand how to use, Microsoft Office to not only communicate written skills, but your also visual skills? How are you communicating with your team members to get the job done? Are you detailed oriented? So those type of skills are transferable if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, if you want to go into construction, you want to be a computer programmer. These are all skills that in every single facet of these industries are preferred by employers, because it's not something that can just be taught in a classroom. You have to take those skills and also apply it in the work environment to be the best that you can be.
I'm curious because I've been working in corporations for more years than I care to say. But when we started, people didn't have computers, and
Right.
I've had people say, what's an email on that? But now you're looking at a generation that it's second nature for them to have computers. Mm-hmm. And now, so when students coming out of, high school and middle school, they're so used to social media and computers and texting, and what advantages are they bringing to a company, to an employer?
Yeah. To your point, they, during our time, we had rotary phones, right? And there's a couple of memes, and, young people are familiar with memes about the olden days where we had these rotary phones where we had to go around and dial one number at a time. Now you have a smartphone where you can even talk to Siri to now ask for them to call someone for you, right? So they are experiencing technology in ways that our generation have not, which is a great thing. So they become highly adaptable. So, the students are now understanding technology at a speed that other generations didn't have the benefit. So employers are looking for them to come in and be adaptable in the work environment with new programs, new platforms, to be savvy in terms of even, creating a LinkedIn profile that showcase all their skills. So that's not something that was expected from our generations. Our generation was, if you had a great resume that was on paper, maybe stock paper, you will probably be seen as a winner. But now employers look and they search you online. So we tell middle schoolers and high schoolers that even though you might be in middle school or high school, we do have employers that will search you if you're applying for an internship or even a summer work program. They're going to search online. So they're going to see what's your social media handles. What are you posting online that they feel is appropriate and what's not what's inappropriate. So one of the things that we always share with young people is, when we were younger, we didn't have this digital footprint where we would go online and post things that maybe we should not be doing. But young people have to be trained that everything should not be posted online, because employers, when they are looking at you for a potential opportunity, they will search your name. And if things come up that they feel are inappropriate, they may not consider you for an opportunity. And they won't tell you that they are turning down your application because they found something online.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit. That's a pro and con of technology. The pro is, technology can be a great asset to create a great LinkedIn profile to show that you're part of the drama club, you're in the STEM club, you're a big sister or big brother to, smaller kids in your school community, that you mentor other people. But you got to be very careful that the right things are out online, because employers will look at that to see who you are as a person and what skills you will bring to their company.
And one of the things that's a rude awakening is, like, when you put something out there on the web, it's there forever.
Right. And middle schools and high schoolers know, they're like in tune with celebrity news. They'll see when there's a news flash of a celebrity that had said something that was inappropriate many years ago, right? When they were just a teen, but it comes out now and it doesn't show them as a good person of character. So we want to make sure that our young people understand that this becomes part of your portfolio of who you are as a person. And if your potential employers see that you have images of yourself that's inappropriate online, you may lose an opportunity for that internship, fellowship, or that job. So we try to work with young people to craft what their branding looks like as early as elementary, middle school. As soon as you start to do things online, whether it's an email address or a picture of yourself, we work with them to try to craft to make sure their brand really matches who they are as a person. And they know that they want to put their best foot forward, not only just on paper and a resume, but also online.
Okay, so now that COVID is, so many people were working from home. So many people were going to school from home.
Right, learning from home.
Learning from home. Assuming that we've been saying that this is part of the new normal. People are going to be working from home, this blend of work from home, work on site. Mm-hmm. How has this changed a lot of the careers that you've been seeing? What kind of skills and knowledge do you see that's going to be needed going forward?
Right. And thank you for asking that question. I think one thing that comes to mind, which is a funny one, kids have adapted better at using Zoom than adults. So that shows the digital divide between generations, where, as adults, we're still, talking when the mic is muted. So that was like the most popular phrase that New York Times shared during 2020. And it continues to be a challenge for us adults, right, in 2021. But our young people, because they have had the advantages of all these platforms and being on technology, have adapted better. So what employers are looking for is, the younger people to be adapted quicker to coming into jobs and hitting the ground running really quickly, as it becomes evident that technology has changed the way that we work and we learn and we do things, right? So they're really looking for young people to come in with those set of skills. How do you use Zoom, right? Before, Zoom was not something you put down your resume as a platform that you knew how to use. Now, because of pandemic, employers are looking, do you know how to use video call platforms? Microsoft Teams? Do you know how to use Skype? Do you know how to use Zoom? So if kids have not mastered that during the pandemic, they will fall behind of some of their peers that have been very savvy. Another piece is being collaborative online through Google Workspaces and other collaborative tools. So Do you know how to use Google Docs? How are you working with your team? Because your classmates all might be at home. How are you working collectively as a team to now collaborate in this virtual environment and put together some projects that may ask you to present, or that you have to create now, or paper? They're not looking for you to lean on the past thinking of, hey, we have to meet up and go to the library. Everything is online. So how are you researching online, getting credible information? So how are you now discerning, right? Understanding what is a credible versus an uncredible research process online, gathering that information, online with your colleagues or your classmates, and then putting it all together. So they want to see that you have been able to transfer your skills of, I've conducted research, I worked with a group, and we were in person before, we've gotten together and we put together this paper, this project. They want to see how you have taken that process and made it digital and applicable to what's happening now. So even though we're going to go back in person, even your teachers, your internship supervisors are hoping that you're going to get some skills out of the pandemic setting that you had to do everything from home on your laptop or your computer.
You brought up something interesting. You're talking about doing research online. How do you know if you have a reliable source?
Right. So for the students who are very fortunate to have a school that may have a digital passport to some online library systems, then they probably have already done it. But for those who have not seen this themselves, you can get now a public library card online where you could go to your public library website, you log in, and they have a digital resource to every single, everything from a thesaurus to, different journals that was created by different professionals. Everything is online, and it's credible because it's on the library website. So the same way that you will walk into a library and take a book off the shelf, or use one of their computers to now look through all the different electronic databases of credible researched articles, it's now available online. So even I know the Brooklyn Public Library has a really good resource online that if you don't have a library card, they can create your membership for you right online. And you can access all those databases that you would have done in person at the library right in your own home. So that's how you know it's credible, right? If it's on a public library website, it's credible information. Anyone with access to creating their own website can put up any kind of information. It's really on you to do the work to find out if it's credible. And I'm always pushing students, the best place to go is to a college or university or a public library website, because they already did the work for you, that it's credible, that this is a public author. They've done the due diligence around if this information is factual, to then share it with you, to say, just like you would find a book in a library, to say this is safe, credible information that has been vetted. Any other site, I would err on the side of caution of not using that information as you work in your projects, because no one knows who vetted that information to know that it is actual facts and that you can use it as part of your research project.
Okay. So, and talking about learning, so, we're looking at middle school students now. They'll graduate in a couple of years. Whatever jobs they're on now, there's one thing for sure, they're not going to be the same.
Right, right.
So how do they prepare? How do they keep, what can they expect when they graduate, and what can they expect once they enter the workforce? How do they keep current?
Right. One thing that I shared, even when you look at millennials, Gen Zers, that every generation there has been changes in the workforce, how we work, where we work, right? Because right now, as long as you have a laptop, you can work anywhere. You can work out of your car, you can work in Starbucks, you can work, in a park. That was different from 2 generations ago, where you had to get plugged in, be hardwired in a physical workspace, or thinking how we work, right? And how people look at work. For young people, even looking at the pandemic, they can look at what industries was in demand, right? If you was a medical professional, that was in high demand. And I think for our country, even before the pandemic, you can look at the medical professional careers that's out there to see that there has been a lower amount of graduates that have gone into those careers over the years, and we've seen what was a consequence of that during a pandemic. We didn't have enough nurses, we didn't have enough doctors. Hospitals was overrun, they didn't have the capacity. So that's one area that we see a lot of growth, and especially in the nursing profession, will also increase because it was also an uprise before the pandemic. IT careers. So everything being from a coder, a programmer, a network engineer, architect, understanding how technology can be used in an office environment. Those careers are on the rise because the need is outpacing the people that are going into that field. Another set of careers, which you may be surprised about, is construction, including welding. Welding is a big career that's in high demand just because it is a well-paid income range compared to some of the other entry-level jobs, but it's highly skilled and you need to be certified in order to be a welder. But if you think about all the infrastructure, everything from federal new roads, new bridges, new buildings, we have seen that industry decline over the years because not more people are interested or aware of the opportunities of being a welder, and construction fields. A lot of our infrastructure across the country are failing just because it's just running out of time in terms of when it has a turnover and be rebuilt and maintained. And we need everything from construction managers, project managers, people who are in engineering, so structural engineers. So there are so many different opportunities that are not just in the office, but are in different places in our country to help build our country and to maintain it. So those are just some of the careers that we've seen an uptick in the last, I want to say 12 to 18 months.
Dr. Niles Teicher, and thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more, please hit that subscribe button, and please contact me for any additional information. Thank you.